What up, Giants fans? You're watching New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. Give me a follow on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. If I missed your question and I wasn't able to answer it on today's show, hit me in the DMs. My DMs stay open. You know what I'm talking about. I'll chop it up with you about Giants football all day long. Give me a follow. Send me a DM at @MarshallGreen_. Let's get into the mailbag. Jack R. What up, brother? He says, do you think the Giants should sit Saquon and Danny this week in Week 18 against the Eagles? I would treat Week 18 against the Eagles like the last preseason game. Let them play a couple of series. I'd bench some starters. Bench is a strong word. I would rest some starters. But Saquon is a guy that I don't really need to see anything from in Week 18. I'd let Daniel Jones play one or two series, keep him fresh, keep him sharp, keep him rolling. He's playing the best football of his career. Neither of these guys need to play all four quarters. Win, lose, or draw. Yes, draw. We have to say tie now because the Giants tied. They're going to be locked in the 6th seed. I know Tom Coughlin made it an awesome thing amongst Giants fans to play their starters when they didn't have to. Go back to 2007 if you know, you know. But that was different. You were playing an unbeaten Patriots team. You wanted to be the team that dethroned them. I don't really see any benefit of playing the starters too much this week against the Eagles. Logan, what up, brother? He says, do Giants go wide receiver or DB first round in the draft? I'm going to give you a very boring answer here, Logan, and I'm sorry. Whoever's the best player available. Let's say the Giants pick at 22, and on their big board when they are pick 22, a wide receiver is number 18 on their big board, and a corner is at number 19. I think Joe Schoen has said it, and he's proved it. He's best player available. He's going to take the guy that's highest on his board. If you're asking me what's a bigger need, I would say biggest needs for the Giants. Wide receiver, corner, interior offensive lineman, middle linebacker, and I think those are the biggest four needs above all positions. Wide receiver, corner, interior offensive line, inside linebacker. If I had to choose, like if you were just asking me who would I rather have, I'd rather have a receiver. But you're staring at a lockdown corner at pick 22. Take him and run and let Wink Martindale have some fun with him. Randy B, what up, brother? He said, should Daboll be coach of the year? That's a great question. That's a great question, Randy. Hell yeah, he should. The Giants are going to the playoffs, guys. They picked 5th in the NFL draft last year. They had no cap space. They made no trades. The number one free agent they signed was Mark Lewinsky. Nobody knew who he was last year. Yes, this has been one of the best coaching jobs in the first year of a coach in National Football League history. The Giants are going to the playoffs with Isaiah Hodgins and Richie James as their wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2. I didn't think those were humans last year. What Brian Daboll has done to not only get the Giants to the playoff, get the best out of Saquon Barkley, get the best out of Daniel Jones. Yes, Brian Daboll should be the National Football League Coach of the Year in the 2022-2023 season. Show him some love. Show Brian Daboll some love in the comment section. I know it says Dabs, but that's how he spells it, and he pronounces it Dabes. Show our guy, Coach Dabes, some love in the comment section. Type Dabes. I want to see the whole chat flooded with Dabes. You happy Brian Daboll's your coach? He's better than McAdoo. He's better than Shermer, and he's better than the lap runner Joe Judge by a mile. I am proud that we have Brian Daboll as our head coach. Type those Dabes if you're there with me. Josh, what up, bro? He says, do you think Adoree Jackson will be effective as soon as he comes back with it being a knee injury? That's a good question, and that's something that I think a lot of NFL fans forget about. It's like, it ain't Madden. You don't just come back from injury and all your attributes are back to what they were before you got hurt. There's something to being in a groove and not having rust build up. Like, that's why I wouldn't mind if Jackson played for a series or two against the Eagles. But he has to be. The Giants can't afford for him not to be. They need him to come back and be that best corner on the team like he was before he got hurt. I'm sure it'll take him a drive, 2 drives, 3 drives, knock that rust off. But Adoree Jackson at 80% is still our number one corner by a lot. So I think it's definitely something to think about. Josh, that's a great point. we can't have any other option than Adoree Jackson come back and be the best version of himself when we face off against Justin Jefferson potentially in the first round of the playoffs, because that's the assignment he's going to draw. Play the Niners, you're going to get Deebo and Brandon Ayuk. He's going to be thrown into the fire. In the playoffs, you play the best of the best. That's what he'll be doing in round one. Tristan, my guy, said, is Odell going to join the Giants in the playoffs? No. No. It was fun to talk about. I think Odell thought he was healthier than he was. I don't think people liked it when Odell said he didn't feel the need to play in the regular season. I don't think teams were a fan of him not playing in the regular season and joining in round one of the playoffs. You got to be your sharpest on your best in the playoffs. And without a season, an off season, a training camp, or a regular season game to get the chemistry right, it was never going to happen. I do still think it was the best chance for the Giants to sign him to a long-term deal this year, even if he didn't play. But no, Tristan, I do not think Odell is going to join the Giants in the playoffs. Odell or not, we're subbing for playoffs, dubbing. We put out videos every single day on the latest Giants news and rumors here on Giants Now by Chat Sports. We go live every single game day, and we do our weekly live shows that are always a blast. If you're looking for a one-stop shop on YouTube that covers everything under the sun related to the Giants, go down right now, hit that big red button. And if you want to win a playoff game, sub for playoff dubs. Melissa, what up, Melissa? What do you think about signing a running back in the draft? I don't mind it. I honestly am of the belief that you should probably take a running back almost every NFL draft in round 6 or 7. With a position that has such a short shelf life, and one that, let's be honest, the Giants are probably going to re-sign Saquon Barkley. You're going to have to commit a lot of salary cap dollars there. You don't want to pay your backups a lot of money. You know who you don't pay a lot of money? 6th and 7th round draft picks. You know what position probably gets the most production out of 6th and 7th round draft picks? Running back. So I wouldn't mind drafting a running back in the NFL draft. I wouldn't do it in round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd lean towards 6 or 7. I like Gary Brightwell. I like Matt Breida. If they want to come back for cheap deals, I'm down with that. But I wouldn't mind, getting another running back in the draft. Neezy, my guy, appreciate the super chats earlier, brother. He says, how do we feel about signing free agent wide receivers after the season and drafting inside linebackers? That's what's got to happen. You want this team to become a Super Bowl contender? You need a couple more playmakers at the wider out spot. You need a game-changing inside linebacker. You need 2 more starting interior offensive linemen, and you need another lockdown corner. That's what great teams do. They reload, they don't rebuild, and they draft and sign players of value. Neezy, I think what you just stated, wide receiver, inside linebacker, interior O-line, and corners are the biggest needs for the Giants. In order, I think I already said it, but I'd go wide receiver, corner, interior offensive line, inside linebacker. If you're able to get a playmaker at each one of those spots this offseason, Giants are cooking with some grease next year. We'll get to more questions in a second, but first, I want to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, BetUS, the best damn sports book in the game, and they're offering the best deposit bonus when you sign up. So go to chatsports.com/bet and use the promo code chat125. Put $100 in your account, they'll give you a free $125 to bet with. That way you got $225 to roll. Go to chatsports.com/bet. Promo code chat125. You can bet on the Giants game versus the Eagles, or you can bet on the Giants game in the playoffs. I'm getting rich off the Giants this year. It's been awesome. You can do the same. Go to chatsports.com/bet. Gossy boy? Is Hodgins getting re-signed? If he is, and what wide receiver should we get in the offseason? Isaiah Hodgins is going to be a Giant for a long time. Unless some other team gives him a lot of money in the offseason, I believe Isaiah Hodgins will be a New York Giant. Rick! What up, Rick? Thanks for tuning in as always, my guy. Yeah, I think you get Hodgins and wide receivers you could look at in the offseason. Juju Smith-Schuster is a free agent. Mecole Hardman is a free agent. The wide receiver free agency class is pretty cheeks, to be honest. It's not that good. But I would love a guy like Juju come play in the slot for the Giants. Mecole Hardman has that connection with Mike Kafka, who was the quarterback coach for the Chiefs and now is the OC for the Giants. We did a video on wide receiver free agent targets a little bit of weeks ago. You can go check that on the channel. I think the Giants will attack the wide receiver position, get a veteran in free agency, and then draft one in the early rounds. That's what I'm projecting. All in NYG. What up, bro? He says, Daboll deserves love, but so does Joe Schoen. He constructed this roster with no money. Thank you, Dave Gettleman. If you want to get the thanks DGs in the comments for the catastrophe of a cap situation he left Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen in, I'm always down to show the fraud, Dave Gettleman, some love. But you're 100% right. What Joe Schoen did this offseason with the limited amount of cap space is truly incredible. Jahad Ward, as a $1 million cap hit, he's a starter. Richie James, $1 million cap hit, he's a starter. He restructured Darius Slayton's contract instead of cutting him. Great move. He's a starter, $1 million. Jalen Smith, a starter for $800K. Jason Pinnock was a great fill-in for Xavier McKinney when he got hurt, and he's still playing snaps for $800,000. Nick McLeod had to play some big snaps for Adoree Jackson when he got hurt. Fabian Morrow has been your number one corner for the past 7 weeks. Tony Jefferson, a practice squad elevation. He's played great. Isaiah Hodgins, he's your number one receiver. You're paying him $391K. Landon Collins had a pick 6 last week. You have 10 players on this list. That is less than $7 million. And they're all starters and they all contribute. Great Joe Schoen's first year for me as a general manager. If you don't put anything but an A, I don't know what you're doing. Because you don't see production from players like that make that type of money on any roster across the NFL. The Giants have gotten the most production out of the limited financial cap space that they had. It is incredible what Joe Schoen did to build this roster. I can't wait to see what he does when he has some cap space. Joe Schoen did a great damn job, guys. And I'm not even talking about the draft. I'm just talking about filling out the roster with limited funds and getting production out of them. Great Joe Schoen's first year, A, B, C, D, or F. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. YouTube.com/NYGiantsTV. We're always trying to grow the channel. If you have a friend, a family member, a brother, a sister, a mom, a baby dad, a niece, a nephew, I don't know what other more relations there are, but if they love the Giants, send them the link. YouTube.com/NYGiantsTV. We would appreciate it if you shared and subscribed.